Yes, this is a real dumpling, and you've likely never had it before. It's called muang. It's a real Thai dish you can only find at a few restaurants around the world. These dumplings demand patience and skill. Every detail has to be just right or it falls apart. And yet Edric makes them by hand daily here at his restaurant. Not because it's easy, but because he believes it's worth it. He could have picked simpler dishes, but chose this to honor a part of Thai culinary history most people will never get to experience. So where did this dumpling come from? How is it made? And why is Edric willing to put in so much effort to keep it alive? At first glance, muang was completely surreal. So what's the story behind it? So where do these dumplings actually come from?
They come from central Thailand, specifically the royal family, the royal palace. Chao Wang is a term that they use. It actually means royal kitchen. And so this was a very specific type of cuisine for the royal family. This was a type of food that was only served in the palace.
Oh, so
Recipes that were secretive only for the royal family. And these were one of those.
and how old are we talking?
Over 200 years old. For these specific dumplings were invented for King Rama II. Or those are the oldest mentions that we can find for the royal cuisine. The problem is these recipes were held so secretive that no one really knows how long ago they were invented. But the first mention ever was for King Rama II, which was in the 1800s.
Muang dates back to the Thai royal court, made only for the royal kingdom. So if it was once royal fare, why don't we see it more often? What makes this dish so rare today? And in previous conversations, you told me that these are not easy to find. Is there a specific reason for it? Do you know the number of maybe how many restaurants do actually make it?
So when I first started this concept, I only knew of 4 restaurants in the US. I was the 5th one. I believe more people are trying to make them now, but aren't very successful, or it's not becoming a successful dumpling that is spreading all over the place because it's extremely difficult to make. Yeah, it's almost worse than baking because it's so sensitive to the temperature in the kitchen, so sensitive to the temperature outside and the moisture in the air.
Most chefs avoid muang because it's too time consuming. It requires patience, technique, and a lot of prep for a small payoff. And it all starts with the filling, layered with flavors that shouldn't work together, but somehow do. So what exactly is in the filling?
So the filling is pork, shrimp, peanuts, cilantro stem, cilantro roots. We have pickled rhizome, palm sugar, oyster sauce, onion. Well, we use red onions, black pepper, white peppercorns, and garlic.
And what's the actual cooking process for the filling?
So yeah, cooking the filling is separate than cooking the dough. Cooking the filling is time consuming. At first, we cook the ground shrimp and the ground pork to try to remove as much moisture as possible. We only cook it about 20 to 30% of it through. Then we add the cilantro, the garlic, the red onion, anything that has a lot of moisture. We mince it, add it to the ground chicken and shrimp, and we cook it until we get as much moisture and water content out of it as possible and as fast as possible.
And is there something specific you're looking for once it's made?
The texture. Once we get as much water content out of it and we start adding the pickled rhizomes, the peanuts, and the palm sugar, the texture, we have to cook that down even further until the texture gets pretty like taffy, kind of like sticky, a little bit firm, but still pliable.
And so what is it about this filling that actually makes it so distinct from any other dumplings?
It's all 5 flavor profiles in one. It's umami, it's salty, it's sweet, it's sour, and it's spicy. Literally all in one. And the flavors are balanced to hit your tongue at different times so that it doesn't just taste like one thing. And then with the texture of the dough on the outside, which is kind of like a mochi tapioca texture, but a little bit firmer because of the arrowroot, you get the mochi texture, the firm but soft filling on the inside, and all those flavor profiles hitting your tongue at different times. Every bite is a journey. And then when you add the lettuce to it, the romaine lettuce, you wrap it around, that freshness breaks up through all of those flavors, kind of like a palate refresher for your next bite. It really is amazing.
The filling has several layers: sweet, savory, spicy, warm, and somehow it all makes sense when you take a bite. It's not overpowering, it's just surprisingly balanced. You can taste everything, but nothing fights for attention. But that filling needs the perfect wrap, and that starts with a naturally dyed dough.
So the dough is actually quite difficult as well. Like I mentioned earlier, it depends on the temperature in the kitchen, the moisture level. Today is a beautiful, windy, fresh day outside, so the first time we do it should work out. But normally on really hot days and it's really hot and moist in the kitchen, we'll have to do the dough 2 times because it's hard to get it to the right texture. It has rice flour, tapioca flour, arrowroot flour, and glutinous rice flour. And so all those flours are moisture sensitive.
And what gives us this really light, dusty powder blue color?
Butterfly pea flowers, we actually grow them outside of the restaurant in the front. When you enter, you'll see 2 viney structures. Those are the butterfly pea flower vines. Every morning we collect them. It flowers like crazy. We make a tea out of that. The tea comes out blue because of the minerals in the water. But when you add acid to it, it turns purple. And that's how we're gonna go from this blue color to a purple color for the purple dumplings. Now we're gonna take it from blue to purple. And by doing that, we add freshly squeezed lime juice, a little at a time. And you can see it literally take color. You'll see the lime juice separate a little bit, but the longer you mix, you'll see the dough change slowly. It gets more lilac. And that's where you see that change. It's a slight change and it's hard to catch with your eye, but when you're used to it, you can literally see where it changes from blue to this purple color right here. And if you don't believe me, you can see the color difference between that and that, or that and that. So now, just like the filling, we have to cook the dough to remove as much moisture as possible because the dough will become pliable. Not only that, it cooks the flours that we put in there so that you're not eating raw flour, and it becomes sticky and kind of like a mochi texture. Now we cook it at low heat and we gotta constantly stir it because it cooks pretty fast. You'll see it change from this purple color into a deeper purple. The deeper purple means that the flour's cooked and we just keep blending it together, stirring it around until all of it is that texture.
And what makes getting this dough right so tricky?
If you overcook the dough or the dough is exposed to hot temperatures with a lot of moisture, the dough will continue to process and it'll become like a hard rubber ball. You won't be able to press the petals into it, and the texture will become more gummy rather than mochi-like. It'll be like a gum where it won't break apart in your mouth. Whereas you want a mochi texture where it has a little bit of bite, but it kind of melts after that.
The signature purple color comes from the butterfly pea flowers. Edric infuses them into a rice flour dough that has to be soft, elastic, and translucent after steaming. And now we get to the part that separates chor from every other dumpling, the shaping.
So now she's gonna make little balls with the filling. Those little balls are the center of the dumpling. And then she's gonna wrap a little bit of the dough around the filling and then make little petals and create kind of like a little flower looking thing. They don't look the best before they're steamed because they look like just purple balls with a whole bunch of things sticking out around them. But when you steam them, the petals kind of like loosen up and bend down and it looks like a flower.
Shaping the flower petals takes focus and finesse. Each petal is formed with a utensil one at a time and it has to hold together during steaming. Once shaped, the dumplings head into the steamer where all that effort is put to the test.
So once the dumpling is made, they have the petals. We freeze them. They last no more than 2 days. And so once there's an order ready, we take them out, take 4 of them. It's 4 per order. Steam them. Takes about 10 minutes to steam. And then we plate them. The plating each has a little ceramic little boat for each dumpling with a piece of romaine lettuce. We top it off with a fried garlic oil that we make in-house using coconut oil. It adds a nuttiness, a garlicky flavor to it. And as the coconut oil kind of coats the top of the dumpling, it adds like not a sweet coconut flavor, but a coconut savory flavor. And we serve it with cilantro and chili peppers. You want to take a piece of cilantro, if you like spice, a piece of pepper, put it on top of the dumpling, wrap it in the romaine lettuce, and take a bite. You'll get like 2-3 bites out of each dumpling. It's really amazing.
Perfectly steamed chor muang should be glossy, almost translucent, and still holding every detail. With that garlic on top, it's not just beautiful, it's ready to eat. But does all that effort actually make the dumpling worth eating?
So I've had these amazing little dumplings before, hence why I'm doing this video. But I haven't had them the way Edric was explaining earlier. Of taking the cilantro and the chili on top, and then eating it together like that. So this will be the first time I'm trying it like that. I'm so excited to have these again. I think if you have to use one word to describe these things, because there's a lot going on. I mean, he was right. But you get the sweet, the savory, and the spicy, the umami, and a little bit of the sour. But to put that all in one word, rich. When so layered, the actual dough around the dumpling is closer to like those tapioca dumplings from Laos. I don't know if you've ever heard those. I think they're like Sun Wu Young or something like that. I'm botching the name, but something like that. I mean, they're so cool, and the history behind them, and they're great. I mean, they're like worth, if you can find them in your area, even if it's a 30-40 hour drive to get them and try them, and you know they're doing them right, absolutely worth going out of your way to get them. Every bite of chor muang connects you to a centuries-old practice and to a chef who refuses to let it disappear. So with all that in mind, why does Edric continue doing this? What does this dish actually mean to him?
For the love and passion that Thai people put in their culture. These were invented for a king of theirs, and they didn't want to just throw something together. They used ingredients that were brought from other countries, balanced the flavors, and literally put effort into showing how much love they have for their culture and their king and, you know, their people. Thai people don't just do things to do things or eat things just to eat things. There's a whole culture behind it. There's a whole love and passion behind everything that they make. So this is my way of showcasing that, of showcasing the Thai people's effort and love for their food and showcasing that food to foreigners. So that's why it really is a labor of love, and it takes you on a journey of flavors with every bite. And so that's why.
And from our earlier on in our conversation, it's like you're preserving a piece of history and culture too, because as you mentioned, there's not a whole lot of places still making this.
No. In fact, the chef that taught me is someone who was trying to reignite the fire to bring these old recipes to light, because they are so difficult to make. Even in Thailand, you don't find them. I'll find them often, but it's a culture that has existed for thousands of years, that has its own staple cuisine, and showcasing the authenticity and some of the recipes that are still traditional to foreigners is my way of kind of keeping that culture alive, true to its form, not changing it to my flavors or my profiles or the American palate, but keeping it true to form as Thai people originally made these recipes.
Even though he's not Thai, Edric fell in love with the precision and philosophy behind chor muang. He makes it not to chase trends, but to preserve a tradition and to honor a culture that he really loves.